Hello, welcome back to the R&R podcast.
This is everybody.
It's your host Shane and Graham. I know you guys are tired of seeing our faces, so we brought someone special. We just want to also just wish all of you guys a happy new year, and we just trust that God is going to give us an awesome 2024.
Yep.
And hopefully you guys have already noted, or whether in your mind or on a piece of paper, what you want to achieve this year. And let's get the ball by the ball. Did I say ball? Other one.
Yes.
But anyway, as we said, we've got a special guest today. It's someone that we know from our early childhood days. It's a former teacher from our primary school, Mr. Nigel Sims.
Yeah.
Hi there.
How are you guys? Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Awesome to be with you guys. Thanks so much. I don't know about the special part, but awesome, and compliments of the season to you guys as well.
Thanks,
and
Mr.
your
Sims.
families.
Yeah, I was saying when we, because Mr. Sims have actually been supporting our channel since the beginning, and it's been interesting because I always thought, we were thinking about like, how do we find somebody to bring on as a guest? So we were playing around with ideas here and there for some people to come on, because we want to break the idea that it's just us, because we want to bring people from our community in as well that has similar stories and or that come from where we come from and can talk into that. And then I think I was sitting on New Year or Christmas Eve, or I don't know where it was, somewhere there. And I'm thinking about, why don't we ask Mr. Sims, because you're here in Cape Town. That's the thing that
You saw the journey on Facebook.
Yeah, that was the thing, and I'm like, why don't we check in and see if you're gonna be interested, if you're willing. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay. And then we thought about it because I came to Harvester Primary, so we, I think, are all connected through Harvester Primary in Westridge, Mitchell's Plain. So I came to Harvester Primary when I was in Standard 2. I came from Alpine Primary in Beacon Valley. So we moved to Westridge and then came to Harvester Primary. That's where I met Shane. But in that same year, Mr. Sims was actually our teacher. I wasn't sure, I think it was, but then Shane said, yeah, he was actually our class teacher. I don't know if you remember that, because you probably have so many kids coming through the system.
Yes.
But at that point, I realized that no, you are actually the right guest, because us being here, you were part of that early stages, so
I
that's
don't
so
remember
exciting.
you guys from the classroom. I remember you on the sport field. Football field.
Well, I've got some memories also from a sports point of view. But I think, like you were just saying, Graham, I mean, that was the years of us being a snotka.
Yeah, it's difficult to have this conversation, because when I message you, I'm like, can I say Nigel? Must I say Mr. Sims? Because it's still that sense of like, that teacher, that memory in your mind of this was your teacher. And we've never really had an adult conversation, and now we're adults, So yeah, Mr. Sims, welcome to the R&R podcast. And I don't know if you would like to introduce yourself, tell people who you are, where you're from, and all of that. I think as an intro, that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Again, thanks for having me. It's a real honor. It's an honor in the sense of having followed you the last couple of months and seeing your intent behind your podcast. That is something to be admired. So Nigel Sims. I'm now in the UAE, obviously, as you know. Stayed a bit longer than what I anticipated.
Okay.
But would want to stay on a few more years if I can, depending on contract renewals and stuff like that. Yeah. But just also for my better half to come over with me, more permanently. Seeing that my boy Key is now having plans, prospective plans in this year.
Yeah, I believe your son is 29. I mean, I didn't realize that it's almost our age.
Could have been our father as well, if he was not. I'm just kidding.
So I still in teaching, 33, 34 years now.
Sure. Yeah.
And really still totally loving what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm in love with my job still.
Yeah.
I get up in the morning wanting to go to work. So that for me it's a real plus factor.
100%.
But obviously, don't put me in a classroom. I'm still doing what I love doing, and that is physical education.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's my passion. I love where I'm at. because where I'm at is more than just my work.
Yes.
It's where I'm at, and a lot of people don't understand this. A greater part of the balance, more than my natural work, is also the Lord's work down there,
Yeah.
Yes.
in this foreign country.
Yeah.
So we experience a lot of growth, in our congregation, in our, small fellowship where we find ourselves. For obvious reasons, it's not huge.
Yeah.
Because the movement is very fluid.
Yes. Yeah.
So that part, the spirituality part of my journey, where I'm at now, that is, I could even say that's the main purpose that I'm doing.
Sure.
That's the main purpose, because you go some places, you find yourself in some places, and you realize afterwards, but this is where I should be for more than just me.
That makes sense.
So that is the wonderful balance that I appreciate.
Yeah.
That it's not just about money.
Yeah.
It's about greater riches, eternal riches. And
100%.
supporting, spreading
Yes.
spreading the Lord's name.
Yeah. 100%.
So yeah, it's an enjoyable journey. It was something that that we prayed about.
Yeah.
2015. And let me just quickly, that's part of the intro, then I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
But I mean, we prayed about it.
Yes.
Beginning of 2015, should we? Should
big step.
Major, leaving the family, whatever. And then one Wednesday evening, we went with another minister within our church. I was invited to go to a divine service, and then we use a Bible word as a theme
Yes.
for the sermon. And it was not the prescribed word that should have been used, and he came with a different word, this minister. And we sat there, started the service. Now he, shares the Bible word as basis for the service. And you know what it was? It was Genesis 12 verse 1, where it says, Abraham, leave your family, leave your country, and wherever you will go, you will be a blessing and you will experience greater blessing.
Hectic. Yeah, that's deep, eh?
I mean, that was like,
So if you needed a message, like that's a clear cut one. Answer if you needed an answer, yeah.
leave your country, leave your family.
Yeah.
But don't worry, you will be a blessing and
Yes,
you will be blessed.
Yeah. And it's been, so you've been there since 2015.
8
years.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
So I mean, just listening to what you were saying, Mr. Sims, we've spoken about success and all that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, success is viewed in different contexts. Terms. You were just saying that your work, your natural work, is part of your passion.
Yeah.
Can you say that you have reached levels of success in your life where you, just so that we can give the audience a picture, and it's not just coming from us. That success isn't what the world presents it to be. I mean, you living in a country where the money or the riches is prime, but here you talking about working with kids, giving the physical education that you started with,
Going the fellowship down
the
there.
fellowship. So can you view yourself as being successful within your own space, and does it bring happiness to you?
I think that ultimately, obviously, when you grow older,
Yes.
your measurement of success, just becomes more inward. Because hopefully by now I would have reached, some successes on the outer,
Yes.
which I don't, really want to talk about, because it's material, material things.
Yes.
It's here today, gone tomorrow.
Yes.
So does that mean your success is gone tomorrow if you don't have that anymore?
Yes.
As somebody said, happiness is not in things, it is within you,
Sure. Yeah.
because then it's lasting.
Yeah.
So my measurement of success is really, and it's based on different levels, but from the teaching aspect, it's, for me, success is seeing the imparting of knowledge, of skills, to the young child, and seeing the joy of that one having a measurement of success in the application of whatever they, you know, was imparted to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I teach at a boys' school, by the way. Only boys.
Okay.
You know, it is unleashing the potential in someone else.
Yeah.
Sure. That's true.
That for me, it's success.
Yeah.
And success for me is personal growth. Personal growth. Things, I'm not a saint. I'm not perfect.
No.
I've made my mistakes. That sounds like a song or something. Made my mistakes along the way, you know.
Probably.
But if I today sit here and say that I've overcome this temptation, I've overcome that, you know, that means there has been personal growth along the way. And for me, that is a success story to me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because, you know, the more we seek affirmation from outside, the less we are of ourselves.
That's it.
Because it should come from within you.
Absolutely.
You should affirm yourself.
That's it.
You know,
100%.
and then just seek confirmation from others that, okay, I'm on the right path.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so yeah, success, as you say, also it's different measurements or levels to different people.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the world is in a spiral where a lot of it is measured on material things.
Yes.
No.
You know,
It's actually, I'm listening now to the.
nothing wrong with it,
Yeah.
but there should be a balance.
Yes, I was listening now to what you were saying about being a teacher and seeing the impact that you have on the kids. And I've always wondered, because like obviously I'm not in teaching, but as a child going through school, I'm sure you probably also remember teachers that had an impact on your life when you were coming through the school system. It's amazing how that contrast is, that the child sitting in the classroom always remembers the impact that the teacher had, and always remembers the teacher, remember what they did and what they said. But I wonder, like as a teacher, are there any kids that sort of came through the system that has made an impact on you, or what made an impact on you as a teacher besides you know seeing the successes over time? Because I attribute a lot of where we are today by the influences of teachers in our lives, 100%. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the question I think that I have is like, what, as a teacher, where do you draw, you know, what are the things that you draw from, from that perspective? Yeah.
You know, I just think it comes from the passion of loving what you're doing. You know, and yes, you know, keeping on doing it. Again, it comes from the satisfaction of seeing that you are imparting lifelong lessons.
Yeah.
A subject that I totally embraced, you know, while I was teaching here before I went over, was life orientation, which I felt was a nice pairing with Phys Ed, with physical education. You know, I love teaching that, you know, part of the curriculum then, because there is such a great need for it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I mean, I realize now and know now that subject is not taken as seriously as it should.
Because that's where a lot of the common sense in life comes from.
It's life skills,
Life skills.
you know. So yeah, my teaching goes beyond the sport as well, whatever. But I like, you know, to impart something that youngsters can take with them as lifelong learning.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Because for our youngsters today, you know, and again we come back to the rat race where people find themselves in. Our youth is also caught up in that. Everything must be quick fixes and quick successes. You know, instant or immediate gratification. And along the way, they're taking shortcuts.
And there's actually a journey and a story that you want to embrace as you moving along with
Correct.
life, you know.
Because those
easy come, easy go. Yeah.
Those shortcuts become pitfalls
Yes.
tomorrow, and
And then how do you deal with it?
Yeah.
Because you never had that process.
Yeah.
Because you should be able to take a guy that is built up, for example, a successful company, let him lose it all, put him in a different place, and you should be able to do the exact same thing.
Correct.
Because he understands the process.
Yeah.
Now people don't want to put in the time. They don't want to have the discipline. They like you were saying, everything needs to come quick, shortcut. And in that way, you kind of also sell yourself. You sell yourself short. But anyway.
No. I mean, also coming back to your original question. When I look at the two of you, you know, that is teaching or teacher satisfaction. You know, that you have, and I know obviously where you come from.
Yeah.
I know the journey, part of your journey.
Yeah.
You know, I know you went to Princeton, and I know, you know, obviously all the temptations and the barriers that you had to overcome. But looking at the two of you, it's success stories.
Yeah.
You know, and that is also part of the motivation that I think most of the teaching fraternity, you know, keeps them going and brings satisfaction.
Yeah.
You know, so not everybody has been perfect on the journey, and not everyone became success stories, but you hope that, you know, what you have sown, that there's something that comes from it, especially, and that's part of the journey of that book as well.
Yeah.
You know, of plain life as well. So yeah, I will keep going.
We're going to talk
I
a bit about.
actually wanted to, just before we get to that, like, Mr. Sims, did you grow up in Mitchell's Plain, or how did you
was your
get
journey? Growing up.
Hanover Park. No, born in Bontiville.
Okay.
Hanover Park a few years. Primary schooling still in Bontiville, Brambleway Primary.
Okay.
And then from Hanover Park, my dad needed to start up, I think it's Bone Brothers, the funeral undertaker service.
Okay.
He needed to start it off in Musselway.
Okay.
So I was in Musselway, we were in Musselway for 2 years. In fact, maybe only 1 year, I think I was grade 5. So started 3, no? Grade 5, yeah. That being in Musselway was one of the most outstanding years of my childhood.
Is it?
Wow, yeah.
Being amongst nature, walking to school, you see the school there, but you got to walk through a kloof.
Oh, yeah.
You see the ocean there, the oil rigs on the ocean.
Awesome.
You sit in a school bench, you see all of that. That was
So you had a colorful.
that was what I will never forget. I forget a lot of my past, not because I'm old, but I don't know why. But that was one of the outstanding.
Nice.
And you know what makes it even more remarkable? My Phys Ed teacher then, I remember him very clearly. My Phys Ed teacher then introduced me to rugby, and I started playing rugby there.
Okay.
And they, you know, die Kaapse klomp, Kaalvoet klomp wat rugby speel hier in die Mosselbaai. So, and I was good at it.
And you were target.
Yeah, I loved it. I was a scrum half. That's when my career started as a scrum half. But the remarkable story is, when I did my 3 years of college training for teaching, if you wanted to do Phys Ed as a specialized subject, you needed to do your 4th year at Hewitt. You remember Hewitt in Thornton?
Oh, yes.
You needed to do. So everybody comes from all over the country to do the 4th year, specialized in Phys Ed, to get the higher degree qualification. Lo and behold, who do I meet there in 1991? It's my Phys Ed teacher from Musselburgh.
Sure, yeah.
He came to do his 4th year.
Yes.
Full circle. Full circle.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, what affirmation didn't he get out of that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
So-
he was really like, you know, he wasn't old, but a father figure since then. Never knowing we will meet up doing both our 4th years together.
Jeez, yeah.
And
That's
today
crazy.
you're still talking about it.
Yeah.
So he's
Impact,
No,
that's impact, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure. Okay, cool.
So
Yeah, and then I came to,
then
then we from Musselburgh we relocated to Westridge.
Okay.
That was late 1970s. Mitchell Plain just opened early, I think 81 or something like that.
Yeah, that's ideal.
Yeah, and then obviously I went to Harvester Primary as a pupil.
Oh, so you were there?
Yes. Yes. So I came back, I did grade 6, grade 7 at Harvester Primary.
Okay, all right.
I was a pupil there.
Yeah.
So was Harvester the first school that you taught at?
That was my alma mater. First school in 1991 when I qualified. I went back to teaching.
Sure. So there's a lot of like connections to the past
100%.
keep coming up. Yeah. That's crazy.
Mr. Hendricks, them next to them, Cedric, you know, passed away now.
Yeah, you stayed there as well. Next door neighbors of Mr. Hendricks. Do you remember?
Oh yes.
When I was a pupil, he was teaching already at Harvester. And when I went back, he was still there, obviously.
Yeah. Jeez, okay, wow.
So yeah, the community is really small,
Yeah, 100%.
even though Michigan is so big.
Yeah.
But where you move, you know, it stays.
Yes.
So you basically, I would say, also with all the temptations, you've grown up in Mitchell's Plain.
Yeah.
From I mean, the experiences in Mitchell's Plain at the moment is not the exact same.
No, changed over time.
But
Yeah.
there was other issues back then, which you also had to go through. So how was your experience growing up as a young man in Mitchell's Plain? I know it was very fun. My father always tells me stories about him growing up. It's not the same, like I say, not the same. You guys used to catch on crazy things back in the day, which you can't do today. It is not as safe, you know. But how was your experience with you know, our old regime and the limited opportunities?
Yeah.
You know, the old regime, I think that's a key word. Because when we grew up, a lot of temptation, but you know, I can almost put it was like clean temptation. You know, there was not for instance, the array of drugs that you have today, or let me say the easy access to it. You know, the attraction of needing to belong to a gang was never really there. But I think a major part of the influence of not going wayward was part of my godly upbringing, familial upbringing, the home where you come from. You know, and obviously the outlet of sport. And then more importantly, I think those within your community with a similar outlook makes it easy, you know, not to fall prey. Because all we wanted to do, you know, when we come back from school is, you know, get that coffee, get that peanut butter sandwich, that is done, your books are packed away, you did whatever you needed to do, and then everybody gathers on the field. And then it's just totally, you know, sport the whole afternoon. Football, roller skates,
tennis,
you know, in the park, jumping from pole to pole. Exactly. Wimbledon, there we go. So, and I mean, you know the community, you know, because it's basically the same area that you come from. So there was never really, you know, a side attraction, if I can put it that way. Temptation. It was there, but I think, and for the fact also that, you know, coming from home, my dad was a priest in the church, so that's always imprinted into you. They kan nie, they moet nie, you know, and so on, because, you know, the figurehead is a priest, and wat gaan die gemeentelede sê, so on. So not that remained like that, you know, because when I got to college, you know, I had can I put it a new lease of life? No, then I went boss.
Freedom.
Then I went boss, you know.
But you needed that to become Nigel, you know what I'm saying?
There we go, exactly. To learn those other side lessons. But yeah, thankfully you always come back. You always come back. And you are then thankful for that base that you were given. You know, you can stray from it, but you will never forget it. You can sway from it, but you will always come back to it. Not everybody comes back to it though. Also, you know, but it's never forgotten. And that is why I think a mom and a dad, does not matter what the child catches on, a mom and a dad will always welcome back. Will always welcome back. Because they know why that one is coming back, because of what they put in him. You know?
100%. I mean, that's so profound that you do always. I like the idea of not everybody comes back to it. And even though you don't come back to it, but you always remember it. It's always in your mind. Yeah, it's always in your mind.
Little voice.
Yeah. You know your roots. Everybody does. Yeah. Sure. So, Mr. Sims, the book. So, you've got 2 books. It's Plain Life and Daily Drives. Plain to Al Ain.
Here we go. So I live in Al Ain now.
Al Ain, yeah.
So
That's
it's your journey
from the plane to Al
plane
Ain.
to Al Ain.
So this one's obviously about the process that you took to get there. I know this one's a fictional telling,
teenage
like
story,
a life story of growing up in Mitchell's Plain in the community.
Group of friends
100%.
together.
Yeah. So
That one.
Yeah.
This one, in fact, now just a little bit of context quickly. So I stay in Al Ain, but the school where I teach is like 1 hour 20 further into the desert.
Wow. So you got to commute to school.
Yeah, but luckily, the company provides the transport.
Okay.
So 1 hour 20 in the morning, so 5:30 we leave, because school starts at 7 o'clock already.
Sure.
So 5:30 we leave. So initially we were like a group of guys in a Hyundai H1 van, about 7-8 of us. So everybody's picked up. 10 minutes driving through the city, now hitting the outskirts, and there we go into the desert land. So with that 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the guys chit chat. How was your evening? How was yesterday? And so on, whatever. Group of mostly South Africans, few Zimbabweans and so on. So we chit chat, so on, and then everybody just comes out. Because now you can get a solid hour, on the road sleeping. And then 2018, I thought, but I'm wasting my time, with this hour sleep and so on and so on.
Yeah.
I can do something on the way to school and on the way back from school. And then I would listen to them. Somebody would say one-liner that sticks with me. And then I started writing a story around that one line that now stuck with me.
Okay.
And that's how I started blogging in 2018.
Oh,
Okay.
So I blogged for about 2 years, writing a story every day. And that's where then, after Plain Life, I then compiled 2 years of blogs in here.
Sure.
Okay.
So the every day is like dated, 9th of May. That's probably 2019. In fact, up till COVID, I blogged.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a compilation of blogs. So it's a motivational, spiritual, but there's a lesson or message to every day.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
So I love this one, but that's my
This
first
one's
love.
more personal, but
Yeah.
But
Okay, cool.
but
I always wanted to write.
Yeah.
Always.
I loved how you said that hour, you didn't want to waste it.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
So the life you have,
Yeah.
you sacrificing to
Yes.
be able to
You gotta make
change
use
someone
of it.
else's life.
Yeah. To maximize your time, because I always like in a lot of culture, particularly in the colored culture, that Sunday afternoon,
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon
Yeah.
nap. So I said to my wife that I have a problem with the Sunday because it feels like, I know it's like important to rest and so on, but to me it always felt like I'm wasting my time. Like I'm not using my time to the best of my ability by taking this nap. So it's interesting to hear
Because of
this
the
hour.
tradition of a Sunday afternoon.
Yes, because we fall into these traditions that we take, and almost that drive that you're doing every day becomes traditional because now okay, you're gonna take your nap, but it's interesting that other people also feel like
But
that could be a waste of time. We could do something more, man.
I would say now, so last year we took a shorter break, December, and I just felt like I never recovered last year, starting the new year.
Okay, yeah.
And this year I said, I'm gonna take a lekker December. So sometimes I'll sit on the couch and I'm just unwinding, and I'll say, yes, sir. In order to become successful, you gotta keep moving, doing stuff. But I also tell myself, as an athlete, right? An athlete needs to rest.
Yeah.
You need sometimes you'll go 2 weeks without doing anything.
Recovery.
Because you got
Because that's part of the process.
So on a Sunday for me, so that's how I talk to myself, I know you gotta at least have a plan. You can't sit every day.
Yeah.
But sometimes a break is fine.
You just
You
don't
can't
feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
Don't feel guilty, because remember now, you can't also just run yourself to the ground. Because in order to be creative and to be able to, be productive, you gotta also recover your body. A new thought. So I do understand your sentiment, but sometimes I just don't feel bad if I take a nap.
No, 100%. No, I'm not saying don't take a nap.
but
I'm saying that isolated, there's no dukken eat, no gaan sy slaap type of thing. That,
But I also just made myself feel better about just sitting around. Yes, I took a...
For sure.
Because
but you gotta switch off.
You must,
gotta switch off.
I agree,
Because more than just your physical, there's so many things going on in here.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I mean, if you're a person that
tires you out.
that just does a regular day and I was resting extensively, then I think I will have a problem with that. But if you're a grafter that's hitting 70 hours a week, sometimes 80 hours a week, you need a break.
Absolutely. That's it, because some people go like to that 90, 100% where they're constantly working, constantly doing stuff. I think when you at that level, then you must. It's important to have that balance, that life, work balance, and also give yourself time to recover. It's very important, 100%.
I mean, what happens to a vehicle when it reaches a certain mileage? You trade it in. You understand? So I don't want
you
to
trade yourself in. I was wondering where that's going.
So I'm about
Don't ask the wives, eh?
doing quality all the time, But anyway, but also another question. So playing life, right? You growing up, you just playing. So and then also Bontjewel here at Overpark. So going into Abu Dhabi, yes, all the tools that you got from the Cape Flats, how did that help you?
Navigate life in.
Because their problems might not be our problems. But I'm sure our problems normally, if you're able to combat that, you can survive.
Makes you resilient.
You're totally on cue. Totally right. And generally wherever, and maybe you experience it in the States as well. And I mean your broader circle of friends or whatever. Wherever South Africans go in the world, they are a sought after labor force.
Big time.
And I always, take that back to our historical oppressed past. That's because that's how we built up resilience. That's how we resilience. That's where we learn to overcome obstacles and barriers, because life wasn't easy. And in an oppressed state. So working overseas and let's be real, a kind is a kind. Doesn't matter where in the world you find yourself. There might be different dynamics, around it. Maybe entitled, maybe got all the money in the world. Maybe at any given time, at a whim, they get what they want. Whatever. 100%. But the child, and that stays a child. And that is my one of my philosophies in life. That no matter what they have and where they are. The funny part is that a child desires order, even though they don't say it. They desire order and structure, even though they're seemingly fighting against it. Because for a young child, in fact for a young adult as well, order to a young adult is a sense of security. A sense of security. Where there's laws and rules, even though they fight against it, they want it. Because it gives them, take from a parent perspective, if there is no order in a home and everybody just does what they want to do, there's a sense of feeling unloved.
Hectic,
as strange as it may seem, But where you have that, curfews and you have the rules and whatever, yes, they fight against it, but they realize it is done for their sake, for their benefit. So wherever we go, wherever I go in the world, and they know, and I think you guys might recall as well, but I wasn't like Mr. Snell was
No,
You know,
no.
you know.
I mean,
remember
I'll
him?
be honest
He
with
was
you.
my mentor.
Right.
In tyd was hy lat geweest en so
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You had a very what's a nice word for it?
Cool demeanor.
A cool demeanor, but at the same time you knew that listen, if Mr. Sims says so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But you had that respect also for
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Okay.
Charismatic. You were very
Yes,
charismatic.
yes.
Nice.
And I think a lot of it comes from the athletics and
Yes.
sport. Because I remember, like, when athletics and sports back then, when
Yes.
we were coming through, it was like huge. It was
Yeah, it
big.
was
It's not
big.
like today. It's not so. Like we went when we were at Princeton the other day. We hear that like the sports and that is almost taking a back. It's not even happening at some schools anymore.
Non-existent.
I mean, but back then it was like a driver. Yo,
Yes.
Mr. Sims,
And there was
the
always-
hurdles and the, yeah.
There was always I think a better affinity and connection, you know, with the child, with the pupil, and the PT teacher,
Yes, yes,
the
yes,
sports coach.
yes,
Like for the
yes.
females in Harvest,
Yeah.
Mrs. Kruger.
Yes,
There we go.
Yes, yes,
Because a lot of the contact that we had
Yeah.
was also after school,
yes, yeah,
extracurricular activities.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So
You know?
you're almost like a father figure. as
There
well.
we go.
Yeah.
So you go a little bit further than the normal classmates.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
in essence, Graham, the teachers are, or they play a ultimate role in society.
Yeah,
Besides
absolutely.
parents.
No doubt, yeah.
You know,
That saddens, you know, it's a reality. And unfortunately today, education, or the quality of education, and maybe now I'm, you know, walking a very thin line
Go for
here
it,
now.
go for it.
No, but I believe our youth, you know, they are being shortchanged. And I'm not only referring to the aspect of teaching or content of teaching.
Yeah.
I refer to a simple thing like where we come from. Look at the sports fields
Yes,
of the schools. Look at Princeton,
Yeah.
wherever, you know, everything has been caged in.
Yes, yeah.
yes, like
You know?
animals.
Yeah. Is there vibrancy of sports bodies?
Yeah.
School sports bodies still, you know, advocating for our children, for school sport. You know, those vehicles has been taken away.
Yeah.
So the outlet for our young ones growing up, extracurricular activities is no more.
Yeah.
In our community where we come from,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
That's
like,
sad,
I mean,
eh?
if
Yo.
it's a big miss.
Yeah.
And it's a void that is filled by other things.
Yeah. Sure.
So if we had fields and facilities that was taken care of, or you know, pools being built, I mean, how much good swimmers comes out of Mitchell's playing?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So if nobody's taking care of that, caging off the lighties,
Yeah.
then they're not gonna have any desire to take part.
Yeah.
With I think with the athletics, what was happening is they were reducing the number of kids that goes and
Yeah.
watches the athletics as well.
Yes.
But that used to be
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that used to be a.
it used to be a
different-
big thing
yeah,
for the
Exactly.
for the school,
Exactly.
not just for and for the community as well.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, every year you come back to school, the first thing
Yeah.
you're looking forward to
Yeah.
is
Prepping for the athletics.
Heel dag buitekant.
Yeah.
And I will say, I mean, I will say that I mean I've had a great coach with my running, you know, with middle distance and everything.
Yeah.
Sharif Jeffries.
Yeah.
But also starting in primary school, Mr. Sims was there.
Yes.
Hurdles.
No, I remember.
Yeah. I remember, like, you won't say it now, but I used to do athletics there.
They started. I was 11 years old, so that was 95.
94, 95.
94, 95.
Yeah.
I think it was 96 was the Sims.
96.
I don't just came in
we were in
as an
standard four,
athletic
yeah.
discipline.
1,200 meters.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
came in with that. Oh, 94 they came. 95 they came in, but the following year they brought hurdles in as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And we were lucky.
We were strangers to it.
Yeah.
But did you have previous training with hurdles? Because you
No.
just had a knack in it.
Yeah.
Coaching us with the
Yes,
hurdles.
yeah.
And you could
I
tell.
read up myself and just went through
How
books.
does it work? Yeah.
Go to the library, open it up.
Because you left to go to Duneside as well,
Yeah.
at a later stage. But Duneside also did well with hurdles. So it
Yeah.
wasn't the athletes,
No,
it
no,
was
no.
the coach behind it.
No, but this lighty, sorry, not, you know.
Yeah.
The one thing a hurdle athlete must have is courage. No fear. And you had heaps of it.
Yeah.
I mean, clattering into hurdles and foul, but he stands up, he comes back, goes again. And now you're not talking about the even grass field that's like, you gotta take off and go over. You know?
And without tripling, I don't want you to triple. And we did the drills and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I went through 2 essays.
Yeah.
I think I got
with hurdles.
With hurdles.
Oh, cool.
Under 11.
Who else? Because I remember there was Marilyn that did hurdles.
There was quite a few.
Yeah.
And they all did pretty well. They went past into schools.
Yeah.
And I mean, it all contributed to Mr. Sims taking the time, putting in the effort, and
No, I loved it. I loved it.
coaching us.
And you never went further on with football.
So like we grew up playing soccer. Like that was a thing for me and my brothers. But then when Patrick died in 1996, that changed everything for me.
Yeah.
So I stopped playing soccer completely from there onwards.
Okay.
Completely. Yeah. So you know, I think our journeys, everybody's journeys are different, and the things that happen in your life, it inevitably influences what you decide to do.
I always wondered, you know, you think back past pupils and so on.
Yeah.
Always wondered why you didn't take it further, because you were a gifted footballer.
Yes.
You were gifted.
Remember when we had interclass?
Yeah.
You and who was the teacher with the long hair?
Wasn't it Mr. Falloon?
No, man.
No, Mr. Herdin.
No, man. It wasn't Adam.
Long hair.
He was Afrikaans teacher with the glasses. And then we took them on. I think they beat us at the
inter school.
No, it was interclass.
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 Okay.
So Mr. Sims always organized this. But there was one memory that I'm gonna have
Yeah.
of Mr. Sims. But he made me understand something. Okay, it wasn't the happiest.
It sounds like a pre-warning.
Remember when that French team came down?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you know I was short and everything. And I could play a little bit of soccer. And I wasn't chosen for the team. But remember now, you took all the big ladies out of the school. So it wasn't an age thing. And you explained to me that, listen, these guys are big. And we want to put a big team together.
Yeah.
And like at that moment, I was just like, yo, why must you be like that? I mean, I was playing with the team for the whole year. But I understood what you it's not about that I'm not good enough or anything like that.
Yeah.
In order, these guys are gonna run over me.
And you saw how big those chaps were.
But we gave them a game.
Yeah, we did.
I remember
I remember that.
That was
so vivid.
that whole thing.
Yeah. So who?
Sabri.
Sabri,
Correct,
yes.
But he was older.
Yeah.
And you know what? At that time, he was now seen as the big bully in the school. But I think that opportunity you gave him, because he was much older than all of us, that could have made the difference in his life as well.
Yeah.
But we played, what was it? Grow Vai as well, was it?
Yes, yeah.
And
That's good memories. But how crazy is that? That I don't know if schools still do stuff like things like that, because that was a great memory. I never forget, especially when that friend, because we did there was a whole celebration around them being there. It was
the
really
anthem was
yes,
sung,
I was singing with
and we all helped to pull the lines on the field, even though I wasn't gonna play.
And I mean, despite being a school in Mitchell's Plain, as they would put it back then, that had limited facilities, we put a massive big foot forward.
That was a whole fanfare that year.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, just talking into the idea that facilities and that, because the reality is that the schools that we had didn't necessarily have all the facilities that, you know, more privileged schools had, but we made the most of whatever we did have.
I just think we are robbing our youth.
Yeah.
You know, within our community, of so many more possibilities of what they can become.
Yes.
We can, but at the same time, we talking about it.
Yeah.
In our small sphere, if we could make changes, then we do that, and that's how change happens. From one person to the other.
100%.
Correct.
You know. So as long as you're doing what you can to try to make a difference, whether it means taking the next door neighbor's lighty to go with to the field and giving him because his parents don't do that.
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure, like we remember Mr. Sims today, that kid will remember you, and you have opportunity of putting some principles in there. So that's the platform that we're trying to generate here, Mr. Sims. It's just, we're talking about issues, real issues, and we're also letting people know that within these real issues that we have in society today, you can still come above them. You can break through. And I know some of us are stronger and we can. It's easier said than done because we're there now. But at the same time, we weren't always here.
Correct.
You sometimes see someone in a different state of his journey, but you don't know his process. So I think
I think that wherever you find yourself in life, and I like to sort of be conscious of this. Is the acknowledgement of whoever you meet any moment of the day, to add value to somebody's life. That's my purpose to life. And even if that adding value is only greeting a stranger,
that's it.
Just having respect for my fellow man. I want to go to bed at night saying, okay, I made a little bit of difference in somebody's life. Even if it was just by greeting. But we must take the opportunity to add value to others.
That's it.
100%.
Move away from the selfishness.
Yes, and I mean that definitely comes through, because I remember when I encountered Mr. Sims again was through Plain Life, because it came up on my social media and I was like, I know this, I remember Mr. Sims, like I remember Nigel Sims from primary school, and then I started like following some of your, when you went live and you talked about the
snippets and so on.
Or you did your, like when you went to different places. What I admired the most was, what came through strong for me was that this was about making change. It was about, besides you putting something onto paper that is telling a story of, but the fact that it's a story within a community that, people don't necessarily want to tell stories from there, like a lot of people that I know, when they leave their community, they leave it behind. They don't talk about it again. They don't, and eventually when you're in company and you're having conversations with people and they say, oh, where are you from? And they won't say they're from, like I know people that won't even say they're from Mitchells Plain, which is weird for me because
it should actually enrich you.
It should enrich you, exactly. So for me, whenever I hear Mitchells Plain or something related or people talking about it, it gets me excited because you know what? For me, that was a foundation to my life. And although I didn't have necessarily I think most of us coming from Westridge or, because even in Mitchells Plain, there's communities that are a bit better off than others. And Westridge might have been perceived as being one of them, but despite that, when the world hears Mitchells Plain, they think not good, bad, gangsterism, drugs and whatever. But that's not my memory of it. You know what? And to hear stories that speaks a different tone to that community makes me excited, because we need more of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what. So when I encountered that, I was like, yo, this is exciting. I want to hear more of that. I want to, I want people to know more about that. So it was great to have you here, Mr. Sims. Thank you.
It was
I don't know
awesome.
if we ready to wrap up, Suma. Yes, absolutely.
I look forward to it.
Because
Just to meet up with the two of you.
This will keep going on. We got to stop at some point.
Yeah, we do. Because it's a privilege. It's really a privilege to have you here, and I feel like it's a full circle moment for us.
Totally.
As well, to be here today as adults and to have a adult conversation, because we are I feel like sometimes you go through life and you forget that you are now in a different phase of your life, and the conversations that you get to have today might not be the conversations that you would have had, because we were 11, 10 years old, it's a different world.
I see you.
So it's a privilege to have you here, and I'm so excited that you get to be the first guest. We were toying around with who would it be.
Yes.
And the fact that it ended up being you, I think it's
perfect.
completely
I'm
ideal and fitting, so
I enjoyed the conversation.
I think my last question to wrap it up, and we'll give you the last word, is like from a legacy perspective, what do you what would you like, your career as a teacher and as an author now, how would you like to see that live on into the future? It's a big question, but I mean, how do you see that? In a nutshell, yeah.
Sure. It's a big question.
It is a big
huge,
question.
it's deep.
Yeah.
But I think in saying it's deep, I think that's key for me, deep. And I think we started off with this, if I can recall, that you want to make a difference. All of us aspire to make a difference. But then we sometimes forget that there's others that want to make a difference in our lives as well.
Yeah.
And in saying that, I mean, we must value. I would like to be known as somebody who valued people. That for me is important.
Yeah, that's good.
To value people and to value also, and we come back now to roots and resilience, or roots, to value the contribution that others made in my life. We may not see them anymore, we may not be in contact with them anymore, but rather celebrate the legacy of somebody else more than what you celebrate yourself. That is giving, that is serving. And if we have the nature of serving, then the world will be a better place.
And your legacy lives on.
Just do and give for others. That for me is important, and I hope that legacy to live on first and foremost in my own son. Because charity starts at home.
100%.
So
Paying forward.
there we go. Awesome, you guys.
Thanks, Mr. Sims. Thanks everybody for listening, and wish you guys a same started with 2024, so I'll end with 24. Wishing everybody amazing 2024, and may this year be a year where you strive for the goals that you've maybe put behind, and go through the open doors, and make things happen for yourself. And that's it.
Yes.
Signing out.
And until the next one, please stay tuned. Leave some comments.
If you know Mr. Sims, say hello. I think
say hello.
he'd like to hear from you guys, especially the old guys from Harvester and Mitchell's Plain.
Like I was thinking that it's gonna be hard to speak to Mr. Sims because I've always seen him as Mr. Sims. I look older than him.
we both.
So I feel
barely
better now.
changed.
Barely changed. Looks in shape and everything. You take on the wall. And it's just such a privilege to be able to, I'm remembering myself as a standard 2 kid. To be able to talk about the goodness that he has done and he's still doing. And so
thanks for the opportunity, you guys. Value it.
Was great.
Thank you.
And on that note, guys, till the next, we're gonna try and keep things fresh, and we're looking at ways to keep it interesting. And but thanks again. Thanks for listening. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.